our housing register's got 29,000 households on it.
Okay.
And households means not individuals, but so if you assume a ×3 per household, that's nearly 90,000 people.
I did that in my head.
Well played. We've got 2,000 households in temporary accommodation. There's not a lot of temporary about it at the moment. It could easily be 4, 5 or more years. Until recently, 260 of those households were in hotels, which was costing the council taxpayer of Greenwich £29,000 a night.
Hello, I'm Toby Fox from 1.5 Million New Homes, the local government challenge, sponsored by Redloft and by Lovell Partnerships. And every month I'm visiting a different council to find out what works and what needs to change to get more homes built. And this month I'm in the Royal Borough of Greenwich, and I'm going to meet Cllr Pat Slattery, a cabinet member for housing, to find out about some of the challenges that the council faces around temporary accommodation and homelessness and the pressures that that puts on the council.
I'm Cllr Pat Slattery, and I've been a councillor since May 21 in the Royal Borough of Greenwich. I'm a cabinet member for housing, neighbourhoods and homelessness, and have been since May 22. I brought you here because this is a small example of our Greenwich Builds programme. We're building 1,750 new homes by May 2026. Fantastic. This one happens to be 2 5-bedroom ones, which is fabulous because I've got loads of people on the housing register who would love a 5-bed home, and hopefully some of them will successfully bid for the ones behind me.
Fantastic. And what sort of pressures are you responding to in building these homes? What are the waiting lists?
Oh, my days.
What's the temporary accommodation?
Our housing register's got 29,000 households on it.
Wow. Okay.
And households means not individuals, but so if you assume a ×3 per household, that's nearly 90,000 people.
I did that in my head.
Well played. Who consider in some way themselves to be inappropriately housed within, and they live in our borough. So there's 29,000 households. Some of those will be in temporary accommodation. We've got 2,000 households in temporary accommodation. There's not a lot of temporary about it at the moment. It could easily be 4, 5 or more years. Wow. We housed somebody in a Greenwich Builds actually last week who's been 12 years in a temporary accommodation. Lordy knows how. But anyway, so half of those people are within the borough, which is good. Half of them are not. Because there are not enough affordable homes in the borough for us even to put people in temporarily. And so they lose all their networks. The kids, if they can stay at local schools, hooray, but they've got to get up at 5 in the morning to get there. Then they fall asleep, so there's almost no point. So there's 2,000 temporary accommodation households. Until recently, 260 of those households were in hotels.
Wow. Okay.
Which was costing the council taxpayer of Greenwich £29,000 a night. At its peak. Per night,
person?
at its peak.
No. Overall.
Per room. Per room. No good for families. You can imagine a mum trying to do cooking. Well, there is no cooking. Actually, there are no cooking facilities, but trying to sort of look after that baby while that child does her homework, while this happens, while that happens. No laundry
and your
facilities.
chances of getting a good diet are minimal in those circumstances.
Minimal, it would be takeaways by and large. But at its peak, it was 260 households. About a year, 14 months ago, it's now 5.
Okay.
So we've done a massive job
incredible.
To get out of hotels, and we've more or less achieved it. You'll always have 1 or 2, just because there's nowhere else to put people.
So it's not the warmest night of the year.
It is not
by any means. I'm freezing. You're freezing. Let's remind ourselves of why we're doing all of this. There are people who are rough sleeping as well.
Yeah, I mean, I should have mentioned that as well as the 2,000 in temporary accommodation and the 29,000 on the register, we count every other month the number of rough sleepers that we find. People bedded down for the night, not just sort of sitting there, bedded down for the night. I went out on that count in July overnight, 12 till 4 a.m, nearly killed me. We found 39 at that point.
Wow.
It's sometimes 70. And then it's very volatile, obviously. In this weather, quite soon I would imagine the Mayor's going to activate the severe weather protocol, which is where all boroughs are required to go out to all the known rough sleepers, all the known spaces where we've previously found them, try and encourage them in. And we will stand up some overnight accommodation for them somewhere warm and stuff for a few nights. So we need to be thinking about them when we build these houses as well, because they're the most visible, actually, in many ways.
And what sort of pressures are all of this putting on the council and its ability to deliver the support that you provide for children, for adults with needs, and the rest of the business that the council's involved in?
Being badly housed has got known implications for family life, for health, for educational attainment. So if you're severely overcrowded in your home, as I've touched on before, you've got nowhere to do your homework. You may not even have anywhere to sleep that's entirely yours. We've got people who, sadly, in order to give their sons and daughters separate bedrooms, have themselves bedded down in the living room. God knows how those people sleep and then go to work again the next day. Severe overcrowding can encourage mould. Which we've got a very good offer on tackling, but it nonetheless can encourage mould, which has health implications, as we very sadly know, because of the AWAB shot little fella who died there in Rochdale. So it's got lots of other implications for our children's and adult services and education as well,
Some people say that we don't need to build so many new houses, that we've got plenty of houses. The problem is the distribution of those houses. What's your sort of response to that, given the council's investment in new homes?
Well, I can only speak to my portfolio here in the Royal Borough of Greenwich. I don't know what it's like elsewhere in the country. I'm sorry to say, I have some insight, but not that much. So there are definitely homes which I've said to you before are long-term empty, and we're trying to kind of find out why are they empty and can we please have the power to buy them. But for sure we need to build more and more homes. If you consider how many are on my housing register, just the existing homes are not enough. So we've been knocking down garages and sheds and all sorts of things for the last 4 or 5 years in Greenwich and built houses on them. And I'm afraid we have to continue to do that.
Pat, Councillor Slattery, thank you very much indeed
You're
for
very
your role
welcome.
in getting 1.5 million new homes.
You're very welcome. Thank you for standing there freezing cold, and your photographer. Good night.
Cheers, Sam. So that's it for another episode of 1.5 million new homes, the local government challenge, sponsored by Redloft and by Lovell Partnerships. But we are going to be back in just a few days with more from Greenwich. So make sure you subscribe and click like, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.